Just checked into a suite here at the Luxor in Las Vegas. Big question as always, who's getting hustled? Am I hustling them or are they hustling me? Let's find out. So just landed in Vegas, just got a text that my hotel room is ready. Never done a digital check-in before, looking forward to trying it out. Let you know how it goes. Vegas, baby, Vegas! In case you're wondering what city you landed in, they'll make sure you know. The rideshare pickup drop-off point is located on the north side of the pyramid. Looks like back in the day, this used to be a dedicated VIP check-in. They had a lounge, seating area, really nice area. I'm in search of something called the gold elevators. Gotta find the gold elevators. See how long this takes. In my search for the gold elevators, walking through the hotel, I was actually surprised how clean and nice it was and how many people were there. I just read so many bad reviews that this was so much nicer than I had expected. I've not found the gold elevators yet. I'm still looking. We'll see what happens. So I'll keep you posted. Finally, the gold elevators. Looked like I was getting closer. Hold up! I didn't have my keys. Well, the good thing is, by this point in my journey, I knew where to find the gold elevators. Finally, back at the gold elevators with keys in hand. Success. Finally got to my room, very spacious suite. Just one little thing I wasn't happy with. So the room here at the Luxor is absolutely gorgeous. The only thing is, the view ain't so great. So I'm gonna call down and see if I can get a room with a view. So I did call the front desk, told them I absolutely loved the room, wasn't a huge fan of the view. They said, come down to the front desk, priority check-in, and we'll change your room. So let's see how that goes. They were very kind in exchanging my room, but man, I'm putting my steps in. If this isn't a hustle, I don't know what is. My first thought on my new room was same design, same layout. Maybe this one hadn't been cleaned up in a while and it had 2 queen beds instead of 1 king. So this is the entrance to the room. Nice little foyer area. They have a little fake plant, some mirrors, but actually very nicely done. I mean, obviously dated, but still pretty good. All right, let's discover this mini bar area. Got some room service or brought some of your own food. Not a bad place to sit, and we'll see how the nighttime Vegas view is from here. They do have Luxor Express in-room delivery. You know I love an ice bucket. Gotta have an ice bucket. Just a couple plastic glasses in the suite. Always nice to have something. Let's see if this little mini bar faucet works. It does. I'm actually surprised, so that's cool. These amenities are branded by MGM Resorts. Looks like they got their own thing going on now. Little hand towel. And they do actually have an espresso machine, which is really nice. It is unplugged at the moment, so I've got to fire that up and get some water to use. No complimentary water here for you. I'm only a Gold Elite member in Marriott World and do not have any status in MGM World. Opening that drawer was actually a Herculean task, very, very stuck. That's why I couldn't do it and film it at the same time. They put 4 espresso pots in there, which is nice. Other than that, a little bare. And I think this refrigerator is just a fridge. It is not a mini bar, but the little freezer thing is working, if you can see that. Their coffee condiments are actually by Wolfgang Puck Coffee. Make your everyday moments extraordinary. You go, Wolfgang. And I am actually surprised that this hotel has a coffee maker in it. It seems like most Vegas hotels these days don't. They want to drive you downstairs to Starbucks or one of their restaurants. So cool to see that. They didn't give me any water though, so I'll have to see if I can ask for some. Looks like this table has seen a little better day. Not in bad shape for probably all the people that have come through here, and I'm sure they haven't done much on this place in the 30-something years since it's been built. Not horrible, but you can just see by the style of the mini bar, very dated. So here's the view as you enter. Nice TV off to the left. I do have to start taking my shoes off. They squeak too much. But if you know me, you know I love a seating area, couch, and chair. Looks like they both could have seen a better day, but not too shabby. So as you come in the bedroom, to the left, you have a view from here. Got a little chair over here. TV mounted behind the door. See if they have the streaming services on that. And each room, sort of the living room and this room, has their own separate thermostat. This room was really cold when I walked in. The other one was really warm. Nice sconces on the wall. The wallpaper doesn't actually look too bad. They do treat this like it's a suite. Nice little hand towels here next to the sink. Got them on both sides. Not so bad. Not sure if I should be expecting a robe for a suite here, but you know, not a deal breaker. Sort of a smaller shower for a large suite, but I guess when they built this 30-something years ago, that was probably not the rage, having the huge shower and that you know, the overhead rainfall shower. Looks like sort of just a normal shower head there. We will test that water pressure out. I should have thought when I booked a suite that they would have had a bathtub. Did not bring my bath bomb, yet somehow I will survive. I never learn, do I? I really never learn. Let's see how these towels are. Very nice. Softer than I expected. Not bad at all. Old school. So let's see if you can see that pressure. So it doesn't look too bad actually. Remember, I am in one of the towers and not in the pyramid, but altogether not so bad. Most important thing is always, what kind of hair dryer do they have? They have a Conair 1875. Doesn't look like a beauty, but I'm sure it gets the job done. That light up there is a little dim, which is fine because it's for the toilet area. But nice to be separate from the rest of the bathroom. And they do have a couple of nice little finishing points on the toilet paper. Very well done, more than I expected, especially after reading all the horrendous reviews online. See if this TV works. All right, we got a Samsung firing up here. Does not look like they have streaming options available on the TV. Not a deal breaker. Always nice to watch your YouTube or Netflix on demand, but that's okay. So you hear a lot of things about the Luxor, and it's scary, it's haunted, it's this or that. You know, The only thing that really scares me is the reviews that you read on TripAdvisor. My God, those things are horrifying. So let's find out together, are they as bad as all that? Or is the Luxor worth a stay? Worth a hustle? Is this place haunted? It doesn't look haunted to me. How do you tell if a place is haunted? Haven't seen anything funny yet. Have you stayed here? You had any haunted experiences? Let me know in the comments if you think this place is a haunted hotel. Pool looks nice. Obviously closed for the season, so really not too much to see there. Steakhouse here is called Tender. Gets pretty good reviews on TripAdvisor, 4.2 out of 5. Decent prices. Just to the right of Tender is the famous Backstage Deli, where they have some pre-made takeaway items and some made-to-order as well. I was there on a Tuesday night. Sportsbook seemed a little quiet. This is the Aurora Lounge, open to 3 p.m. every day and is known for its unique lighting displays. Well, if you can't go to the bottom of the ocean, here's the Titanic in one piece. So on the atrium level of the Luxor Pyramid, they have a Titanic artifact exhibition. They have King Tut's exhibition. I believe they were advertising at the time I filmed this 2 exhibits for $55. This is also where you would get your tickets and go see Blue Man Group and or currently performing at the time I was there, Carrot Top, as well as just take a stroll around, look at the interior of the pyramid and sort of the sphinxes that they have built, which has stood the test of time. And on the atrium level, they do have a food court as well. Among other restaurants they have are Johnny Rockets, Nathan's Famous, LA Subs. What I really like about the Luxor is they have lots of different food options at lots of different price points. You'll also find Diablo's Cantina, Mexican restaurant. Got some decent prices there. Margaritas $14, draft beer $15. Ouch. Ceviche for $19, salads $12 to $14. Not too bad. Steak fajitas for $29, quesadilla for $25, and if you want some dessert, a flannel cost you $10. Not too bad for Vegas. In the market, you can buy snacks, Coke, souvenirs, pretty much anything you need. This bag has been in the same place since I checked in a few hours ago. So we've just got some dinner. I actually had a restaurant credit. Part of the package deal I booked was a $30 restaurant credit, which only added $5 to my room tab. Some MGM special they had going on, so that was great. And then, as you know, I got a coffee maker that didn't have any water, so I went down to the priority lane and I said, hey, got a great room with a coffee maker. Can I have some water? The guy's like, how many do you want? I'm like, just 1 or 2. He's like, take all you want, and he handed me 5. So, I'm finding that the customer service here at the Luxor has just been great. I know everybody has their own experience, but to me so far, it's been wonderful. All right, this is a chicken Caesar salad from the Backstage Deli. It's $20 on the in-room ordering map. ordering app, the taxes and everything was 25 bucks. So we'll see what 25 bucks gets you for a salad here in Las Vegas. Enjoying it in my own suite, watching the Olympics. Doesn't get any better than that. Interesting thing I had not noticed before is there is tape on these sort of windows. Not sure what that tape is for or who would have put something up there. Anyways, just a little funny. So on this TV, they do have some options. They got television, movies, hotel services, dining. Do you want to like check out and your account? So didn't think they had this on the other TV for sure. So that is great. Let's go explore some more. There's the Sphinx on the side. Mercy. The Luxor light still shines brightly, even though it's only at half power these days. I've been coming to Vegas for years. I don't think I've ever seen a section of the Strip as deserted as this. Literally with, I guess there's a couple people on it, but literally with no one on it. This is crazy. I guess no one makes it this far down on Las Vegas Boulevard. I'm not sure if this parking lot at the Excalibur is an employee parking lot, valet parking lot, whatever it is empty. That is New York, New York. In the distance, got Planet Hollywood a little further beyond that. If you can make it out, the MGM, and then down off to the right, stayed at the Virgin about a month ago and posted a review of that. And then if you do walk around the hotel, you sort of get bamboozled a little bit. But then I see the hotel registration sign, and I will make my way back. Starting to rain here in Vegas. That bag is still there. So, one of the things I really want to do is see if a hotel is worth the hustle. So, currently on TripAdvisor, the Luxor Hotel and Casino has 1.6 out of 5 sort of stars out of 59 reviews. So, let's read some of these. Dusty room. We booked a Tower King room to be out of the main pyramid area. The rooms were newer but are very dusty and need maintenance. The vents were caked with dust. The shower area was dirty and the bathroom sink drained very slowly. We did not even end up staying one of the night as my allergies were acting up with all the dust. We'll not book another room here. I stayed here for a wedding in October. I was staying in the room alone and therefore had 2 room keys. After my room was cleaned by the housekeeping staff, my additional room key went missing. Then my iPad, AirPods, glasses, and headphones were stolen out of my room. I reported this to hotel security, who advised they would carry out an internal investigation. It's now been over a month later, and they ignored my emails, and nothing has been done about this. Total, these items were over $2,000. My iPad has been tracked to China. This is a common scam. Beware. House cleaning staff stealing Apple items and selling them. The complete lack of help from the hotel is an absolute disgrace, and I would not recommend anybody staying here. So another 1-star review. Luxor, Las Vegas, total nightmare. Day 1, checked in and I was told my resort fee was $75. When I booked my stay, it was $45, and they had to fix that. Day 2, something happened. Day 3, something happened. During our stay, we asked people how they were doing at the hotel. Everyone was disappointed. I found someone's luggage in the elevator and took it to the front desk, and they asked me to bring it to security for them. Wow. What do they say? I never leave reviews, but this time I had to. You want to take a risk at this hotel. If you do it again, I would stay away. My question is, after reading a number of bad reviews here on TripAdvisor, why the heck does anybody stay here? Yet when you walk around, obviously you can see there's people there. Can it be as bad as all that? I'm only about halfway through my stay, but I mean, It has not been the nightmare that I'm reading about from everybody here online. Granted, I'm only staying one night and not 5 nights, so you do have to take that into account. And the room is outdated, but I wouldn't say it's unclean. So, you know what I'm going to try to do is try to find a good review here on TripAdvisor and see if anybody has anything nice to say. Can't believe it. I actually found a 5-star review of the Luxor here on TripAdvisor. Our stay at Luxor was great. We stayed at the Luxor over 20 years ago and had a great experience. I made reservations for last week as my wife and I celebrated our anniversary. I later read the reviews and saw so many negative reviews that I was concerned, much like me. But our experience over 4 days was really excellent. Room was clean, staff was friendly, and we got quick responses from the front desk when we requested extra towels. Casino was fun, and the Pyramid Cafe served a really great breakfast. As for the reviews, found a couple minor issues to be true. They didn't provide wash rags with the towels and face towels. You had to request them. There is no fridge. I actually have one because I booked a suite probably. We didn't need one is what they said, but you can request one at no extra cost. TV was fine. Who watches that much TV in Vegas? Point well said. Overall, I had concerns before going, but we totally enjoyed our stay at the Luxor. And there was much of how I was feeling before my stay here at the Luxor. So many concerns. Just reading 1 star after 1 star after 1 star, I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I staying at this place? But so far, not so bad. So Vegas has got so populated in recent years that it's so hard to go up and down the strip, and what hotel you stay at really has a great impact on your stay. And so at the Luxor, you're sort of on the west end of the strip, really close to the Mandalay Bay Hotel in New York, and also close to Allegiant Stadium and Park MGM. So if you're staying for any of those attractions, this might not be a bad option. Obviously, if you want to stay at the Bellagio, you're going to have a completely different experience, and you're probably not even going to make it down to this end of the strip. But if you want to go to one of those places I mentioned, this might not be a bad alternative. So I was just going to make a comment that, funnily enough, for a Vegas hotel, there's no safe in this room. And then been waiting for hours. We're the ghosts. Been waiting for the ghosts all night. Nobody's come to visit me. How boring is this? If you read some of the comments online, one of the things people comment a lot on is like how many people have died at the Luxor. And some people have died here over the years. And it does not mean a place is haunted or cursed because, not to sound callous, but a lot of people die many places every day. And it doesn't mean that where they died is haunted or cursed. So just food for thought. To me, what's really interesting about staying in a place like this, the Luxor, that has these horrible reviews, is that literally the only place that it can go is up. I mean, it can't be any worse than people say it is, can it? Been a good day of hotel hustling. Gonna call tonight. I'll see you in the morning. That is, unless the ghosts get me. That is Allegiant Stadium. That's where the Raiders play. Don't know if you can hear it, but there's like a noise. It sounds like a construction truck or something, and it has been going on for hours, which has kept me awake. So it looks like there's some sort of project going on. I just don't know where it is or what it is, but boy, it's been going for a while. I did not comment on the makeup mirror yesterday, but they do have one, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that. They also have the dual vanity sink, which I think is a nice touch in all rooms, not just suites. I did not notice this last night, but just sort of the boards or the little faux cabinets here have seen a better day. Could use a little help and a little paint, to say the least. A lot of hotels have updated, and they have a lot of charging stations for everybody's devices these days. This one only had a standard electrical outlet on the lamp, no USB-C ports, no USB ports. So they could use some help in that department. They got Lavazza coffee. Let's see if I can get this espresso machine to work and if it actually does. What do you know? It actually worked. A little shot of espresso in the morning, I'll take it. Got my cup of coffee. Gonna go explore the hotel a little and see what the breakfast offerings are. Little objet d'art. So just remember, probably like all casinos in Vegas, nothing is closed. Your standard Starbucks offering. You can do the mobile order pickup. Not bad. Prices here: bacon, Gouda, and egg sandwich, $7.75. Good to see some other guests here in the morning. A little more crowded than when I stayed at the Virgin. I did not use the in-room delivery, but I did order through that app, and I was able to go down and pick up my my chicken Caesar. Automation is coming. You cannot escape it.
Okay, yeah. All right. 214. Okay. Yeah.
There's the Pyramid Cafe. Biscuits and gravy, $12. A Benedict, $20. Healthy options. Irish oatmeal, $10. Belgian waffle, $14. I'm just trying to figure out if I have time to eat here this morning or not. Breakfast offerings weren't actually too bad at the Pyramid Cafe. I do have an early flight this morning, so I think I might grab something at the airport lounge. And the lady's like, do you want to sit down? And I was like, I might not really have the time. And she's like, I'll get you the fastest waitress. I'll get you the fastest waitress. So like I said here, the service has been great. Looks like the Backstage Deli is open for breakfast as well. Got some juices and rice puddings and parfaits for $8. Not bad. So if you did want to get to Mandalay Bay, I guess this would be the way to go. An amateur, that's a Lush right behind me. Could have got my bath bomb there. Dogs. I did not know there was like a long shop way until the Mandalay Bay Hotel. That's what I'm on right now. And if you want, you can get something at the Las Vegas Sock Market. If you're a Raiders fan, found the place for you. Look at this place. Holy cow. They're ready for action. And then here's the end result of that excursion. You could go right over to the Mandalay Bay. There you have it. Stayed at the Mandalay Bay. What do you think? Should I do a hustle there in the future? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Let me know. Gotta love that Vegas sign. It is coming through the wall. Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. They got a Guinness store here as well. Never seen a Guinness store. Don't even know if I've seen a Guinness store in Ireland. Got an Irish pub next to the Guinness store. That makes sense, right? Wahlburgers here. Mark Wahlberg's entrepreneurial exploits never stop. A pizza place, Slice of Vegas as well. Not just in the hotel, but on this little walk to Mandalay Bay, you can see there's a lot of food options for people here other than just the hotel offering. So great to know you're not stuck if you're down here. I'm assuming this is for kids. How cool is this? If they have a little kid place, where you come to Vegas, let your kids have a little fun. Me, what's fascinating about them having King Tut's tomb here is when I was a kid in Chicago, they had it touring the country, and it was a huge deal to go see King Tut's tomb. It toured in Chicago. My parents went and took us. One of the most memorable experiences of my life. So, am I sad I didn't see it here? Not really. Saw it once before. Looks like Johnny Rockets is open for breakfast as well. If you want something from here, looks like they got some from afar. Looks like they got some breakfast biscuits or muffins. Remember, all those rooms you see up there, this is the Pyramid Hotel rooms. Did not stay here. Seems like most of the reviews on TripAdvisor were about these rooms, not the tower ones. This would seem to be the Blue Man Bar. Obviously, they have the Blue Brain Buster. I'm sure that'll kill some brain cells. Blue Brain Buster, if you want a 32-ounce one, $27. That'll bust your wallet. Here's Diablo's Cantina with nobody in it, just a repair guy. This is the check-in area. Early in the morning, not too much going on here. The bell desk service. So the people at the beauty bar last night, they were aggressively selling their skincare. You'd think these people were heavily commission based. I mean, they talked to everybody that walked by to the point of it being uncomfortable. I did not know they made Elvis whiskey and rye, but apparently they do, only in Vegas, baby. This is the market store, general sort of, gift shop. Get some food, get some booze. All right, let's wrap up my stay at the Luxor here in Las Vegas. So I did book this room through the Marriott Bonvoy website. So Marriott seems to have a partnership with MGM Hotels, or the MGM chain here in Vegas. So for this suite, which you saw, I paid $185, and that included a $30 food credit as well, and the resort fee. So for the size of the room, some food in Vegas, did not seem like a bad deal. I'd say I hustled them sort of on the room rate. But let's talk about everything else. As I've sort of given a little running commentary through this video, I'm like, oh, this place doesn't seem too bad. Staff seems nice. Doesn't seem to be anything falling apart. Dated, yes, but, horrible. I wasn't quite there yet. And then just went to do some filming this morning, coming back up in the elevator, and there's this guy, and he has, it looks like he's checking in, and it's like 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, are you checking in? He goes, no. He goes, I'm staying in the other tower, the silver tower. This happens to be the gold tower. And he goes, there's no hot water in my room, so I'm coming over to a work buddy's room to take a hot shower. And I was like, ay. Because those are the things that you read about on TripAdvisor, that, my room had no hot shower. It was really dirty. It was this, it was that. So that was sort of my first experience with somebody who was not having a good stay at the Luxor. Let's start with the check-in experience. I arrived via Uber Lyft, and I was staying in something called the Gold Elevator, which is literally right near where you get off for Uber Lyft. But to go get my keys, I had no idea where that was, so I ended up probably circling the whole hotel before I could get my keys and then come back pretty much to where I came in. And then, as you saw, I had that scenic view of the service entrance, asked for a change, and they were kind enough to do that. And I do have to say, all the staff has been delightful here. Have not had any bad encounters with the staff. To me, they get a 9 out of 10. As for this suite, as you can see, it's a very spacious suite. My original one was just a 1 king bed. This is 2 queens, great size. Just everything is really dated. You can tell by the bathtub and the sink that it's probably all original from when this hotel was built back in 93 or 94. They don't really have any power cord updates to charge all your stuff, as we all need to do these days. In terms of cleanliness, I wouldn't say the room was unclean. It didn't look like maybe anybody had stayed in this particular suite in a while, so it probably could have used a little dusting, got some of those stains off the couch, but it wasn't overall horrible. I didn't feel, unclean at any time. I did not want to walk around in bare feet. That being said, let's talk about the bathroom. Bathroom, as I mentioned, just, the hardware was dated. And I did take a bath last night, and I came out of it, and I felt I smelled a little musty, and I couldn't tell if that was from the water or if that was from the products that they gave you, the MGM products. They didn't really have a natural sort of fresh scent to them. So I just walked out of the bath, and I was just like, don't really feel I smell too good. Let's talk about my night's sleep. I did not have a great night's sleep. And I wouldn't say it's because the place is haunted. No one woke me up. No one said anything in my ear. Nothing like that. It's just the bed was really soft. So it was sort of hard to get comfortable on the bed. And there just seemed to be noises the whole night through. Just a little knocking here and there. I could hear doors slamming up and down the hallway. So yeah, the sleep wasn't so great, and then I tried to record. I think it was like there had to be like a generator truck outside the window that started going early in the morning, and that really kept me awake. And I even had like earplugs in, and they did not seem to help at all. So I'm gonna have to give the sleep like a 5 out of 10. It was just not a great night's sleep. Another thing too on sleep, the thermostat in the bedroom, it was sort of either cold or hot. There was really no in between. If you turned it up to get rid of the air conditioning, it immediately went into heat mode and the room got really hot. And then if you turned it down again, it immediately went into air conditioning mode. So there was sort of no balance in between. And I think that led to a little funniness in my sleep as well. I just really couldn't find a good balance of temperature throughout the night. In overlooking this room, you can see the freeway. We are very close, and I could hear that freeway noise pretty much the whole night through as well. You know, if a big truck or a motorcycle went by, you could definitely hear it in the suite. On the flip side of things, they did have an espresso machine in my room. Made 2 cups of coffee this morning, so totally appreciate that. Have not seen that in a Vegas hotel in a while. Usually they don't have that coffee machine and they want to drive you downstairs to buy some coffee at Starbucks or their own coffee shop. For dining, I told you I did get that $30 dining credit, and I used it at the Backstage Deli. I got that chicken Caesar salad, and it was actually more than I could eat. I did not end up finishing it. It was so much food. So in terms of that, really great value for the buck. Is this place haunted? I don't believe this place is haunted. I believe it's haunted by being 35, 36 years old, and probably, you know, some of the pipes need refreshing. The windows, they didn't seem, you know, double pane, but there's not much the Luxor can do about that at this point. The place is 36 years old. They can't like tear down things and start over. So I get it. So who is this hotel designed for, I think, is one of the big questions. So seems like a lot of conventions, and I think probably maybe 10 years ago there were a lot of fights that happened in Mandalay Bay. So if you're staying in Mandalay Bay, it sounds like rooms can get quite pricey, but you can literally walk from here to there, so this might be a good option for that. And you can literally walk to Allegiant Stadium where the Las Vegas Raiders are now playing. So great location for that. It is sort of off the end of the strip. It's next to the Excalibur. People have their feelings about the Excalibur, love it or hate it. If you want close access to that, you could walk over there. They do have a little tram that runs between, I believe it is Mandalay Bay, Excalibur, and Luxor as well, to try to help you get around and not have to walk so much. Not that we all shouldn't be getting our steps in. The breakfast options at the Pyramid Cafe did not seem horrible. I was honestly expecting to be in like, you know, the $30 to $40 range, but they weren't. Everything seemed to be in about the $18 to $25 range for breakfast items. I do have to catch a flight earlier this morning, so I elected not to eat at the hotel, but as always, I could have picked something up at Starbucks, which is great options to have here. And then I did take that walk over to Mandalay Bay, and none of those restaurants seemed to be open at this time. The food court here, Johnny Rockets, was open. Looked like they were serving breakfast sandwiches, so those were the breakfast options, but some good choices. If you were having breakfast here, you could make something work. If you are gonna stay at the Luxor, in my opinion, if you can, I think it's worth it to upgrade to a suite, because then you get access to go in the priority line downstairs when you check in, and they just seem to treat everybody a little better. As I mentioned, I got all the waters. When I called down to want to switch rooms, they were like, oh, no problem. Great attitude. So if you can, why not? You know, like any place you stay, be safe, be conscientious, be aware of your surroundings and what's going on around you. So my total rating on the Luxor Las Vegas would have to be, I'm gonna go with a 6.5 out of 10. And I know that's sort of subjective, but I mean, it just, to me, it wasn't horrible. The guy telling me the story about having no hot water in his room, that definitely knocked it down a point. But to me, it's like nothing in the hotel itself was, you know, unclean, seemed unmaintained. It just seemed like it hadn't been updated. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Would you stay here? What would you rate this hotel? Literally forgot they had a gym as well, so wanted to make sure to catch that on my way out. Didn't have time for a workout, but really nice sized, well-equipped gym. Very impressed. The gym just kept going and going and going. To gain access to the gym, you had to go through the Nurture Spa. This is the rideshare pickup location. Headed out for the airport from Luxor, Las Vegas. So on to the next adventure. Keep on hustling.